Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Billy Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
What's up? It's going.
Yeah, it's going. We see that you're repping the Dunkin' Donuts crew tonight with your
Damn right. America relies on Dunkin'.
And we're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
What up, people?
Yeah, so Ricky will not be joining us tonight. Wanted to give him a shout out. You know, he has a different work schedule, so he'll be on in the future. But yeah, that's to be determined. But as for tonight's show, there's a lot of topics that have happened. You know, obviously last week I was at PAX West, so I was unable to do a show last week. So we do have a couple of things we need to talk about. Of course, we are going to talk about WWE 2K18 because we do know the final roster has been revealed, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Before we even touch on that, we need to talk about recent developments. So let's start off with WWE Raw this past week. And I was curious if you guys had any thoughts on the show. I did want to say two quick things very quickly as far as my thoughts. I'm tired of the Big Show. You know, this whole thing with Big Show versus Braun Strowman, I really don't understand why Vince keeps having these main events with Big Show and Braun Strowman, because I was not impressed. Already knew the outcome, obviously, because they have to have Braun look strong heading into his match against Lesnar, which he will probably lose anyway. But
you know what? It's for the live audience. Like when you watching it, you know, we're sort of used to seeing this. You know, seeing Big Show come out. Okay, he's a big man, stuff, but you don't get the real effect until you're there at a live show and you see how massive this guy is. I've been to a few live shows, pretty up close, like 4th, 5th row. This guy's huge. So I'm sure for people that were there, it must look amazing with Braun in there and, you know, Big Show, two big massive men in a cage. I mean, that looks like it's a throwback to the 80s, you know? Like, what am I watching? This is amazing. You know, and I think that's why they do it. It comes off better on a live show as opposed to watching it on TV. But, I mean, again, I think this is sort of like the whole gender thing, you know?
Yeah,
he's lost a lot of weight. You know what I mean? He's taken care of himself. He's cleaned up his eating habits and some other things in his life. He's in shape, you know, and this is a way of, you know, giving him a reward. They're like, you know what? You did good by you. You know, look at you. You're amazing. Now you're going to be in the main event. Because this is the second time, you know, that he's gotten a main event called recently.
That's true.
It's because of that, you know, and has no problem getting the younger talent over, you know, and that's what this was for. But it was a good match. I mean, he did pull the elbow drop. I remember when he used to do a drop kick off the top rope. They kept hyping up the elbow drop. I'm like, yeah, but the most devastating was when he did the double leg drop kick, because that's like amazing to see some massive guy do that. But I don't know if he could take some kind of bump like that. You know what I mean? It was years ago in WCW. It was just Paul White. But man, it was a decent match. I mean, he took some big bumps, even that bump through the cage. You know what I mean? That's a big man. That's a big man to just like get tossed around like that. Like it's like even that. I'm sure that came off amazing on TV. I'm sure whoever was there was like mind blown. What? I just saw another big man take a giant man and throw him through a cage. Tell that to anybody. They'll want to see that highlight reel. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's what the whole point of this was, just to get over that. Braun is not just a big man. He is a big man who can destroy other big men. You saw it clear as day. The way he picks him up, Big Show up, and walks around as if he just picked up a cruiserweight. You know, he's like, let's go. You know, when he did that running power slam, I'm like, yo, people just need to understand that he's a big guy. You know what I mean? He's almost 7 feet. You know, and then of course we got Big Show at 7, and he just like manhandled him. Like just the presence and just being able to pick the man up like that and move around the way he did is amazing. You know, so people need to just see it for that. Yeah, do we think Big Show's gonna win? No. But that's not what Big Show's there for. You know, he's made his money. He's living pretty. You know, so this is just extra time, and it's helping out like Braun. You know what I mean? He's not just losing to people. That was a pretty good match. You know, he showed he could still work. You know, it's not like when Kane comes back every once in a while and does some shit, but you know, it is what it is. You know, so yeah.
I think you make the point of being the live audience. That's a very good point. I haven't really heard that argument before. So, yeah, it probably is good for those people that are there. You know, I'm just curious. You know what happens after this? Obviously, you know, Big Show still being used to put others over, as he should at this stage in his career, unless they have bigger plans for him. But you know, like I said, we've already seen Braun versus Big Show other times, so I hope that this is the last time they have that match, because
Maybe, but you know, it's the roller coaster. It's the 50-50. You know, he'll lose, and then some little guy may come out and say, you know what, you're nobody. You'll watch up, yeah, I'll destroy you, and then he will. He'll come out, destroy him in the match. You know what I mean? And he'll look strong again. You know, it's like, yeah, I may lose to the younger, bigger guys, but I can still squash any of you middle, you know, normal sized dudes. You know, and that's it. And then he'll come off as strong again, and I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, but he'll always be within that top flight because of his height and his size. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And you know, no matter what people say, I mean, he's still good on the mic. He can talk. He's not amazing, but he's better than Big Cass. You know what I mean? So he's going to take that spot. And I'm sure that maybe Big Cass was supposed to be in that spot. You know, as a big he's hurt.
That is a good point. Yes,
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
So I'm sure they were like, all right, well, Big Show, you know, you're in great shape. You willing to do this? Yeah, I'll do this. You know, because remember, during that time, he was doing that other shit with Kaz. So, you know, it doesn't really make much sense to lose to Kaz and then to go up and then do a feud with Braun and then lose. So I have a feeling that that was the spot for Kaz. Kaz got hurt, and they're like, well, this whole gimmick story that we're doing doesn't really work without another big man, you know? So he was like, all right, I'll step in for that.
That's a good point. Yes, good points. Pretty much, yeah. Because I wasn't even thinking about Big Cass, but yeah, that's a good point.
Because there you go, he's an afterthought, and that just shows how people don't give two shits. The man just got hurt like a week ago, and you already forgot about it. You're like, Big Cass, looking at a roster. I don't remember a Big Cass. I don't know what he's talking. Yo, Adam making up names again. You know, it's like picking his fantasy wrestlers, putting them into the story. No, that shit ain't real. Yeah, Big Cass, but it's. Now he's gonna be out for a while, right? It's like some 4 to 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, it's I think it's maybe Dana, you know the exact date. 6 to 9.
Yeah, it's pretty serious. Now, there are like people saying that this might have been his last match.
Whoa!
You know, remember, this is not like a regular
Wait a second.
injury.
Wait, hold on. I didn't hear
that. Oh, damn! Breaking news! Beep 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 beep.
Breaking news. Yeah, this may have been his last match. The thing is that he is at an age where he's older now, and he's also a very big guy, and it takes a lot to bounce back from an injury like that. And so he's had a very long and beautiful career, and he's looking towards working on the back end of things. He is loyal to WWE, and it's not like a complete departure. He'll be working behind the scenes, but right now it's looking like he's going to possibly, you know, just get his Hall of Fame injury and call it a day.
Oh, I don't know about Hall of Fame. I don't think he made it to that level. Oh, she's already giving him the ring. What are you doing? It's like she's like, yo, he's been chosen. No, I don't think he's accomplished that much. Ah, man, that's too young. I mean, wait, he's still in his early 30s, right? Not that old.
No, Big Show is like
no, not almost. Big Show. Not Big Show. We're talking about Cass.
Oh, Cass. Nobody cares about Cass. No, Cass. No. Gosh.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what? You're giving Cass the ring already? He's going to the Hall of Fame?
I mean, Big Show. No one's thinking about Cass. Cass can't even wrestle, let alone talk. So,
Yeah, no, when you said the whole thing about working backstage, I'm like, what is he going to train people on how to do what? Like,
no.
what?
Cass, he's going to be out, but it'll probably be for the best. Maybe they can repackage him and send him back to NXT. So and this also is another great thing because we don't have to hear this Enzo thing always talking about Cass. Yeah. So maybe they will move the story forward and we can see what both of them can do. Enzo right now seems to be, I find him to be more enjoyable on 205 Live. Annoying and sounds like he does drugs every time he talks, but it fits for him in that category.
He's on coke. Everybody knows it. Yeah, he looks like. Oh yeah, you know.
Like
But
the coke
yeah.
is strong. But you know, I'm happy in that regard, so they can move on. But in regards to Big Show, yeah, he's out.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I mean, I feel like no one's ever really done. Hell, Vince recently came out and was asked about Undertaker, and he said, well, he might have another match. He'll keep having these guys wrestle until they're 80 or 90. You don't give a shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
In 3 months, we're still going at it. Terry Funk had a show, and he's like, what, 82?
I'm telling you, I'm sure after he called Ric Flair, he was like, how's everything going? Oh, it's all right. Now, can you wrestle at Mania? You know what I mean? Like, people want to see that shit. You ready to wrestle? You know, and then Ric Flair would just reply, yep, I can do it. I can take a side back bump. Let's do it. You know?
Yeah,
I'm going to pull a ramp jam like the wrestling, die in the ring, whatever.
And also, in regards to Big Show and the Strowman, I like their matches. They seem to just have good chemistry together. And remember, Vince loves his men big. So the bigger you are, the more light you'll have.
Yeah, he likes those big.
So and I think it also harkens back to the glory days. Remember the Andre the Giant Hogan thing?
Andre Hogan. Yeah, Yokozuna, King Kong Bundy, you know, Big John Studd.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just basically one of those things where, you know, it's just never going to end. When as long as you're big, you're in. So that match was pretty interesting. It wasn't bad. I wasn't complaining about it, but I think for me, after the ring broke last week, I think them being in matches is just overkill by now. Because I think there's nothing you can just do to kind of top the ring thing, even though that was an homage to many years ago when Big Show broke the ring.
But you remember, even with last week, well, this most recent when he Braun threw Big Show through the cage, that was done with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley did that and took a guy and threw him and he smashed through.
And if you look at WWE overall, right now they're just rehashing a lot of old storylines.
That's why I hope when Big Cass comes back, he says Adam Bomb and he has the nuke glasses on and starts throwing the little Nerf balls out. Remember, like, you know, bring back old gimmicks. Do something like that. Like, really bring back, like, rehash some of the old stuff. The only time they've ever done that was with when they did the Diesel and Razor Ramon, remember? And it was like the fake ones. So in a way, it was still like a continuation. I mean, it's easy to do it in Lucha, you know, because you just put the mask on. You know, somebody else does it. They have that happening now. The guy who's Sin Cara now was not the original Sin Cara. That guy, they let him go a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you know, it'll be fun. I want to see some of that, you know. Especially,
it would be nice.
Yeah.
Just to see that again. But so far, we're stuck with what we have.
Uh-oh.
It is what it is. And that's why we have the video game. So that way we can just recreate old memories within the game, virtual form.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see about that. We are going to get into that. Well, was there any other thoughts on Raw? I do have one other thing, but I want to ask first, do you guys have any other thoughts on Raw that you wanted to talk about?
This whole thing with Enzo and the 205, and they still have matches, you know, the 205 matches on Raw. I don't get that. Just keep it separate. Just make it a damn separate thing. You know what I mean? Like that match or whenever they pull those things, just put that on your 205. They put some good matches on Raw, and I'm like, that belongs on your 205. Like, I don't understand this. Just hype it up.
They're trying to get those 3 hours in. What is it, like 3 hours and 15 minutes?
I know, but it's like, that's just one of them. I don't know. And I guess we can do the highlight to all of this for some people. I don't see it. Was the whole thing with Roman Reigns and John Cena. I mean, we all know it was scripted. You know, all this, I'm shooting on him now, yeah, and then Roman coming out, all right, I got some good shit now, get ready, I'm coming strong. No, none of that. You
that
know,
was literally a rehash of Rock and Cena.
Yeah, Rock and Cena. Yeah, especially when Cena was calling a Rock a part-timer and doing all that shit. You know, but at least with that, they didn't make people wait a year. I mean, remember that match was a year off.
That is true.
These guys are gonna fight at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, they can't do that because they need them ratings.
Yeah, you know, but it's just, you know, it's some things you can teach, you know, and it's some things you can learn, you know. But as we're seeing with Enzo, the guy has no skill in the ring when it comes to actual performing, but he can talk on the mic, and you can't teach that. You know what I mean? It's very rare that you see somebody just automatically develop a personality, and it's like, yeah, now I'm going to get over with this. They have to already have it. A lot of people would say, nope, no, Adam, you're wrong, because Rocky Maivia, when he came out, but he always had that. That character, that charisma, was everyone saw it backstage, and they were like, "Yo, bring that in the front. You know, we'll figure something out. Bring it to the front." And that was it. And he did it, and it worked. Same thing with John Cena. John Cena did all the rapping and stuff backstage. You know, Stephanie McMahon said, "You know what? Do that. Pull that in the ring." You know, next you know, thugonomics. You know what I mean? And it worked. You know, so they it has to be within you and come out and project and connect with the audience. And that's what's going on with the Enzo thing. But with Roman, he doesn't have it. He's projecting the total opposite. He's projecting, I am a dick and a bully, and you really don't like me. I hate when people say, oh, the men don't like him because he looks better and all the women. No, 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 no. That's not true, because that makes no sense why men go popping for all the other big dudes that are around. They pop for, you know, Steve Austin, and he had a pretty good look. You know, I mean, he bald, muscle, gives the middle finger, drinks beer. Come on now, you know. But, you know, people back them up. It's just, you have to come off a certain way. And when they're doing this whole fake shoot back and forth, no one's winning in this shit. I mean, if anything, Cena's winning because he can still out-talk him. So it's like, I don't get what this. It's just, are we watching somebody learn on the job? I mean, this is supposed to be the main roster. You send Roman back to NXT. Let him develop on that stage. I don't want to see him wasting TV time on this. You know, I got things to do. I don't have time to hear him like sort of stumble through his lines and then have seen a call out. Oh, see, this is why I'm here, because you can't do this shit right yet. I was like, oh man, someone hand him a script. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the ref to come up like, yo, read line here, paragraph 4. That's your shit. That's it. That's what I was waiting for. You know, so it's not gonna happen. And some people are like, well, you gotta give him time. Yo, he's been there for years. Okay, he's been on that level main roster for what, like 4 or 5 years now that they've had him doing all this stuff. It's not, he's not getting it. You know what I mean? And if they can realize that and go with his strength is he's just the big guy, right? That's a big guy. Don't have him talk. Don't try to turn him into a John Cena, because he can't do it. You know what I mean? John Cena, he had the skill. He had the mic skills. Everybody knew it backstage, so they let him do his thing in the front, and he can still flow with it. You know, same thing goes with even Ric Flair. In his book, he even said, he's not the best worker. He could barely do any moves, but he can sell and he can talk on the mic. So he could sell the damn match, have you try to beat the shit out of him, throw him around and stuff, but he'll beat you with a finisher, you know, a submission, the figure 4 leg lock. No power move there. You know what I mean? That's it. You have to be great on the mic. I mean, it's sports entertainment. You know, that's the entertainment part of it, really. You know, to lure people in. Macho Man. People know the elbow drop and stuff, but besides that, what else? They know him from, oh yeah, you know, and doing his promos and the 1, 2. Who does 3 this way? Who does the 3 separate? You know what I mean? He used to always do that separate. For those who watch it, I'm putting my pinky and the pointer in it. I don't understand how he did that. But anyway, you know, and he was a cream of the crop. Remember that when he took a little cup of cream and then he would drop it and then another cup of cream pop out and another one, you know. But I mean, that got him over. He was amazing with his promos. We looked forward to that, you know, and how he hyped up and he would have the match. This Roman can't do it. It just, for some reason, it doesn't work. When he tries to do it, it doesn't either come off genuine or it just doesn't flow right. You know, when he does try, it does look like he's remembering lines and from what his script was. You know, and it's sad. You know, if anybody, he needs a manager. You know, pair him up with Paul Heyman, or get him a manager, get a mouthpiece on him. You know, he just can't do it. And I think that's his flaw. You know, besides the fact he's doing his finisher move as a regular move, that Superman punch and the spears constantly. It's annoying. He'll do that fucking spear and a Superman punch 4 or 5 times in a match. You know, I remember when he was with the Shield, that was his finisher, remember? That was it. He caught you with that shit, you weren't getting up. You know, now everybody's bouncing. It's like, oh, Superman punch. Oh, he kicked out. Okay, here we go again. You know, and it's like, spear. Oh, he kicked out. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like, go in the back, learn like 3 or 4 other moves, and then come back out, and then just give everybody the middle finger. Every time you grab the mic, like he did that one time when he came out, everybody kept booing after the Undertaker. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
And he do that every time. Grab the mic and then drop it. Don't even bother talking. And I'm sure as time goes on, people will be like, you know what? I like this one. I like this Roman Reigns. He doesn't talk. He doesn't say shit. He just does his thing. You know? Because that's it. He has the look. He has the look. Everybody knows that. I think I told you a story. My daughter, came up to watch wrestling. She saw that, and it was with Samoa Joe, and there was somebody else in the ring. And I said, "Who do you think's going to win?" She was like, "Well, obviously the big guy. Look at him. He's got the tattoos. He's big and scary. He's definitely going to win." And I said, "She said, who do you think is going to win, Daddy?" I said, Samoa Joe. "What, the fat guy? Fat guy's not going to win, Daddy. The big strong man's going to win. Look at him. He's scary." You know what I mean? And I'm sure that when they do focus groups at WWE, they probably have the same, little kids sitting around, and they're like, "You see? That's money right there. Cha-ching." They're going to want to buy his T-shirts and all the other shit, and the parents are going to go give it. So the parents will go boo the shit out of him. Daddy will say how, he's a mark. He's watched wrestling forever. He's saying all the flaws. And then they'll go, "That's great, Daddy. Yeah, I see you don't like him now. Can you go buy me a $25 T-shirt?" "All right, baby. Here you go." You know what I mean? And then that's it. It's done. Money in the bank for them.
Well, so, hey, I want to make a quick comment because we had Bobotron 260 in the chat made a comment that said Nakamura needs a manager. Do you think that is an accurate question?
Absolutely. He's absolutely right. He needs a damn manager. You know what I mean? And some people, it's not about just speaking English. We're like, "Oh, that's messed up. You're saying he can't." No, they speak English. It's fine. It's just getting promos. It's getting your point over quick and effective. You know what I mean? And some of these people, they do need managers. They need to bring in a manager, someone like a Paul Heyman. Look at this. Brock stands there bouncing his, his pecs and stuff, and the other guy's just talking and doing all the shit, and the crowd is loving it. Think about that. So it's like we need more of that. You got Ellering doing it with oh man, I'm throwing to put the the Authors of Pain. You know what I mean? And that's getting them over. I mean, those guys are amazing. They work well together, so that's gonna be fine. But they have a mouthpiece, and it's the same thing. He doesn't. He absolutely needs a manager, So they need a few managers. Maybe they feel that they don't have anyone that can do that type of job. I don't know. I mean, hell, I think Corey Graves. I mean, he's doing like 5 different things for the company now, so they might as well make him a manager too. Shit, did you hear that? He's traveling with Raw. He's traveling with SmackDown. He's doing all these other shows.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, he's no doubt they're grooming him to take Michael Cole's job. No doubt.
Yeah.
Amen.
This is Corey's going to be there for a long time. But that's what I'm saying. Get somebody like that. Just talking on mic. I mean, there's plenty of wrestlers that can't work anymore, whether for physical issues or whatever. But they know how to work the mic. I'm just like, you know what? We're turning you into a manager. You cool with that? I'm cool with that. You getting paid? Yeah, you get. All right, let's do it. That's it. Go talk for Shinsuke over there. That's it. I don't know.
I agree with pretty much everything you said. I'm pretty sure Dana had a point to make, but before you make your point, Dana, I just was going to say, in terms of this whole Roman Reigns, John Cena thing, I think we all already know how this will end because the goal is to get Reigns over. So no mercy. I mean, I would expect him to win that match, and that's it. John Cena. Maybe there'll be some type of interference or something from whoever John Cena's next opponent is. I have no idea. But what was you going to say, Adam?
No, I was going to say, because Dana knows the answer to this. Go ahead, Dana. Tell Rich what's going to happen if Roman wins this match.
Of course Roman is going to win the match. John Cena has already given monologue after monologue about how he's not going to do anything. And right now he's taking the role of, being one of those guys who's like, I don't need to win to get over, and I can still be appreciative if I lose. So
what they need Roman Reigns to either win or lose, don't matter, but he needs to just go heel. He's got to go heel. They have to have something where maybe Cena wins. Cena wins because everybody's like, damn, he lost. And he snaps. He snaps and starts beating the shit out of Cena and does the whole thing. Because maybe, just maybe, then the people that hate Cena will back up and like, yeah, all right, we like this. We like this Roman.
Here's the issue. The issue is that it's kind of been reported that Roman is heel. him right now is considered a heel. As heely as he's going to get.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I
So
think
he
that
by, trying to diss Cena.
because think about it, if he wins, this whole thing is pointless because I mean he already beat the biggest baby face in the company, which is the Undertaker. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, you did that, so now you beat Cena. Okay, people still gonna boo the shit out of you. You didn't change your status with the crowd. You're still the prick that no one likes. You know what I mean? So they need something to develop within him and his character, and I feel like the only way that'll happen is if he goes all out heel. You know, I mean, if he starts cheating or does something like that, that'll be something. You know, like pull like an Enzo, put your feet on the rope to win, or grab the tights or something, or grab the Cena shorts, do something shady. But if he just wins clean, who's gonna give a shit? They're gonna be like, oh, so we see the pattern. Cena loses to these guys to help get them over. We see it.
Yeah.
So Cena's now Big Show. They're both doing it. So,
well, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Because think about it, Rock, part-time Rock, whatever people want to say, but when that guy comes back, he don't lose. He wins. When he comes in, he was kidding. I mean, even when they did that big hype match, he still won that match twice against Cena. He didn't lose. Then later on, he lost, but they didn't have him come back to get other people over.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if that would be the case if they had him come back to face Reigns, if he'll say, yeah, we want you to get Reigns over. But
He tried that. Remember when he came in the ring and they still booed the shit out of him? And
I remember that.
And The Rock was still shocked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, The Rock probably whispered in there, yo, if I can't get you over, nobody can. Your shit's done. All right, I'm out. Right? That's it. I tried, kid, going back to Hollywood. Good luck.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, any other thoughts on Raw before we move on to SmackDown Live?
I like what they did with Naya. I like that. I don't think it'll last, but I appreciate them at least acknowledging her. I wish they would do it with Tamina.
I have no respect for that belt. That belt changes hands every other show. I don't get it. Sasha wins it, then she loses it next time. You know what I mean? She can't even defend the thing. I don't get it. Like, why do they do that? Why do they keep doing it?
Well, let me just make a comment on that. I think that will end when Asuka gets called up and wins the title, because I've heard reports that the plan is to have her maintain that whole promo where she's unbeatable, she's strong when she comes to the main roster. So when she wins that title, I expect her to hold that title for a while.
I mean, think about it. She's already going to be in the Hall of Fame just for this. Just for what she pulled in NXT. They said 150 title defenses or some shit like that. But let's say if she goes to the main roster and she stays for another 3 years or whatever it is, and she's still undefeated. What? That'll be amazing. Oh, man. Like, maybe other people win by DQs or whatever, but they never pin her. They never submit her.
Yeah,
She loses 4-way or, 3-way matches, tag team, but she never gets pinned. That'll be amazing. She'd be the best wrestler in WWE history ever.
I could see, I could definitely see that happening, only because of the way that they have portrayed the other wrestlers. And then you have people like Charlotte, who has not been on TV. I know she's had the stuff going on with her father. But that character, when they moved that character to SmackDown, it's like it's gone downhill. So, I could see her going on a dominant run, going through all, everyone, and then I don't know who the challenger would be that would take her down because of the way that they presented the other ones so far. So we'll see. But
really? I don't think so. WWE doesn't seem to know what to do with their Asian wrestlers.
No.
What?
The Raw might be an issue.
They should hire Kenny Omega and just make him a manager. Because he can speak Japanese and be like, you know what? We'll keep you here, but just as a manager. No wrestling for you, sucker. We got you. Haha. That'll be fun.
That was like, I was thinking that, or like bring back Mr. Fuji.
He passed away.
Oh, well then bring back, who's the Asian guy who now, Funaki.
Oh, Funaki.
He's on commentary now.
He does commentary.
Yeah, commentary. So,
But he also wasn't so great on the mic. I don't know if that'd be a good idea.
See, the thing is, you're right. They don't know how to handle these types of wrestlers. I would think that with Asuka, you don't have to do anything. Just let her beat people's asses. But they can still mess that up because they've messed up Nakamura. So he is the artist. He's the artist. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You made a good point about, Nia Jax. You're glad that she has an opportunity. The Fatal 4-Way will be interesting. We already know Emma will not win that match, but it should be interesting.
The back and forth between her and Nia is entertaining on Twitter.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I think this is what we'll get from there actually being, a full blown on-screen rivalry that's interesting.
Yeah, you're right. We'll see what happens. Any other final thoughts on Raw before we move on?
Yeah. It was decent.
Okay.
You guys, do you hear me okay? Because I hear you guys like choppy and cutting in and out. I don't know if it's me.
Can you hear me now? Am I clear?
It's still freezing.
Uh-oh. Well, this is live, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You've been playing that Destiny. Stuff is crashing.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. Destiny.
Definitely
like a sickness. Crashing everything.
That's right. So, okay, now let's talk about SmackDown Live. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts. I want to ask the question, what do y'all think of this Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens feud that's going on now, that Mr. McMahon is about to get involved in this upcoming Tuesday night?
Let me try.
I thought of Adam right when I saw it. I'm like, this is definitely something Adam is going to complain about.
Yep, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to see if it's me. I'm back out. I'm back.
Basically, I'm the only person who truly enjoys this. This is solely based on the nostalgia moment. But Shane McMahon is a terrible wrestler. Just downright awful. All he does is seems to throw forearms. And so, it was sad. It was like trying to watch your dad, relive his glory days, but he's slower and older and he never could have any talent to begin with. So, it's just sad. But, for those who enjoy Shane and still hold on to that memory of Shane, I find it to be, it's interesting. But I just like them going at each other, verbally more than I do any type of physical matches. So, yeah, it's just because he can't wrestle, and it's just downright terrible. And so his little, temper tantrum fit that he threw when he was, running around beating up Kevin Owens and running into the announcer's table, I found it to be adorable. But, in that, oh, my dad has gone deranged type of way, like a little dementia.
Yeah, so let me make a quick comment, and then Adam can chime in if the audio works.
Well, that's the thing. Do you guys hear me clear? I could hear myself, but I mean, when it comes to both of you guys, it comes off as choppy. I hear it cutting in and out. It's weird.
Well,
I don't know.
I hear you very clear now.
I don't know what it is.
All right, so while we address that, let me just say this real quick about this whole thing with Shane McMahon. I feel that WWE, whenever they decide to do something, and it does well with the audience or whatever, then they continuously do it, to the point of overkill. We had the whole thing with James Ellsworth where he got his chance, he came in, and then they had this guy beat AJ Styles multiple times. Now, I think it was fine to have him win maybe once or twice, but 3 times, it's I didn't really understand that. So with Shane McMahon, it was great to have him come in and make his return against The Undertaker. That's fine. But then you decided, okay, we're going to have him go with AJ Styles next, and even I thought that match was going to be I don't know why they did it, but the match turned out to be one of the better matches that they had at WrestleMania last year, in my opinion. That's fine. But now you're obviously going to have him face Kevin Owens. This is where all of this is leading to. And the thing that I don't really like about it, the whole thing with the McMahons is that they always have to have themselves involved in this stuff. no disrespect to Shane McMahon, but this guy is not a wrestler. Not when you look at the people who are doing this every day, years on end. You know, it's a little ridiculous to think that, you know, well, now we have someone who was an exec in the company who is now going to go against a wrestler. It's fine if you want to do it every now and again, but to do it, keep going to that well multiple times. Well, he has to wrestle. He has to wrestle. I don't understand that. Now, with that said, Kevin Owens, we already know Kevin Owens is going to do a good job with this, and I would hope that after he does this, he gets better opportunities moving forward. But I just feel like I don't really think that. I think the WWE has so much talent on their roster, they're not necessarily using the talent in the right way. And that's unfortunate because SmackDown, there's plenty of people on there that deserve to be in a better place. Even with AJ Styles, you know, that United States title is an okay title, but this is a guy that should be competing for the world title, not the United States title. But with that said, that's just my thoughts on the whole Shane thing. You know, yes, they'll have a good match whenever it happens, and that will be because Kevin Owens is the one that puts the match over. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of him even being involved in this whole thing with Kevin Owens. But no, Adam, you could share your thoughts on this.
I think they're just reading the crowd wrong. I think when they hear all the cheers and stuff that goes on for Shane when he comes out, I think they think that the crowd wants to see him in a match, you know, and I don't think that's the case. They see him as a part of the show and he's entertaining, but I don't think anyone really wants to see him in a match. I know I don't. I'm sure a lot of the talent in the back don't because he's taking up one of their spots. You know, he's coming off as the babyface. Just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know if it's not that, then is it just that Shane wants to be part of the show and feels doing this is how he gets himself more involved? Like, I get it with his dad. You know, his dad was the heel, you know, and he was the mean boss, and who doesn't want to beat up their mean boss? You know, that's what they were going off of when he was feuding with Austin and stuff. But with Shane's supposed to be the good guy who's just there, you know, and next you know, what things just happen to him. You know, Kevin Owens says, I don't like you. You're, you know, not calling my matches right, and you're biased, blah, 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 and the whole thing. And then starts saying all those things, and then now they're going to get into a match, or now Vince is going to come out, you know, but I don't even understand the point of that. I don't know where they're going to go with it. Maybe they're going to have a match, but I think it's going to be more than that because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see this match. I want to see real matches. I mean, think about this. When you do a match like this, Shane's not going for the belt. Shane's not going to get the belt. You know, Shane is not even a wrestler. So I think that when Vince comes out, he may say something like, you know what? You got involved in this. I am stripping you of whatever role he has. I forgot what they gave him. What's his role?
Sure.
I strip him of that shit. And now I am officially putting you down as a full-time wrestler. So that way we don't get sued, you know? And now you can wrestle, and then that's it. Then they're going to do some real feuding back and forth. And then Owen is going to give him an ass whooping. He'll disappear for a while, and then he'll come back, and here comes the money, and then they'll do something else with him. You know, but that's the only direction I can see them going with this. You know, that he's going to be the one getting in trouble, not Owen.
Go ahead, Dana.
Weird theory behind this that can be completely wrong, but my theory is that there's a clause in Vince's will that says Shane has to be involved in this company as a wrestler in some form in order for him to get the company passed down to him. Stephanie can't do it. Linda sure as heck can't do it because she has her now political thing, and plus she's, you know, not near death, but she's much older now. So I feel that is something in the clause for him in order to get the company. And it would kind of explain why the heck this is going on. Because this man is very successful. He had his communication thing in like Japan or Tokyo or somewhere overseas. And now all of a sudden, after all these years, you're coming back? Are you just coming back and like, just being like a face. You're coming back to wrestle, and it was cute the first time, but now we're having match after match after match. So I'm thinking it's some type of will for him in order to get the company. Stephanie does the back end, Shane does the front end.
Hey, well, anything is possible. I don't know. That's a good theory. It's certainly possible. But I don't really understand. I think Adam had a good point about where they're probably going to end up going with this. I guess we'll find out on this upcoming episode of SmackDown Live when Vince McMahon shows up and says what he's going to say.
Well, my question also, I wonder, does Vince McMahon have the same impact now? He's been so separated from the company for so long. And plus, he's much older. He's half dead, but he won't die. Like, does he have that same power? Like, when you hear Vince McMahon is coming, are you going to be like, oh, my gosh? Because back in the day, I used to be very enthusiastic about it. Now it's just like, oh, he's coming back. Yay. I feel dead inside.
I think he will. I think he'll still, at least for the live crowd, that's a big deal because they're seeing something special. They're like, oh, wow, Vince is here. You know what I mean? So they get to see that. People watching on at home, they probably don't give a shit.
Or, in crazy thing, do you think that Vince is now going to appoint himself as the GM and Shayna will just be a wrestler?
No. I don't. I think it's going to be one of those things where he works something out, but he has to do one or the other. They did this with Triple H for a little while. Remember Triple H did this role where he attacked, a wrestler. I don't remember who it was he attacked. Was this Sting or doing something? And they were like, no, you can't do both, and this and that. And he had to sign all these documents, and he had to step down from his position for a while, and so he can do this match. And I think it's going to be something like that, But I don't see the whole point of this. I don't see the big deal of doing it. I don't see who wins out of this. Okay, Shane, if Owen wins the match, what we do? Who cares? You just beat, Shane McMahon. And if Shane wins, you just made one of your regular stars look weak. Who won? What are we getting out of this? It's pointless. It's a pointless match. It's a filler match. No one wants to see this. And I mean, Owen said it best. He was like, "Yeah, you always want to be part of the show. You want to climb on things and jump off of things. That's what you're good at. That's what you do. So
that's true. That's right. Yeah,
he's not pulling a full match unless he's been training in the back with, like, I don't know, Dean Malenko or something. And he's learning all kinds of crazy holds.
Okay, another crazy theory. What if we all know that Kevin Owens is Triple H's guy? Is this some type of, like, vindictive move to always make Kevin Owens face Shane McMahon, like, because of Vince? He would set that up? Because KO is not really moving anywhere else in the roster. He's not getting that world championship title. He's not even getting an opportunity. He's just stuck there with Shane,
Well, hey, he still might get his opportunity.
Oh, yeah. No, he's still a top guy there. I mean, right now is Jinder's time doing his thing, but eventually Jinder will run his course and move down. And then we're like, all right, well, we need another heel. And there's Owen. He's the heel.
One other thing, too, that definitely have to remember in the event that Kevin Owens does get sent back to Raw is that you remember he did the favor for, they had in storyline. Well, they may not go back to this, but they had that storyline where he lost to Goldberg and then he talked to them afterwards and said, oh, he can get a rematch anytime he wants it for the Universal title. So maybe that's a possible thing down the road if they decide to send him back to Raw. But for now, it is what it is. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. It's all good theories, but we'll ultimately see what direction WWE takes the storyline. Did y'all have any other thoughts on SmackDown before we move on?
Yeah, I have something, and I was pissed off. The whole Dolph Ziggler thing.
Oh, yes.
that pissed me off. That pissed me off because of the lack of respect, especially when it comes to Macho Man. I get what he was saying when he came out and he started talking about the gimmicks. This is what you want to see and blah, blah, blah. But when you come out as Macho Man and you start doing dun, 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 and then you're like, look, see, this is bullshit. This whole gimmick. You're putting down the legacy right there.
That was Vince's dream.
You know, that pissed me off. If I was Leaping Lanny, you know, his brother, I would be pissed off watching this. I'm like, don't disrespect my brother like that. He wasn't just some cheesy gimmick. You know, he was great. He was entertaining.
Yeah. So a question: is this a proof that when you don't have anything for a wrestler, that he shouldn't be on TV? Because I don't know where they're going with this whole gimmick thing with Dolph Ziggler.
I have no clue what they're doing with this. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, is this supposed to turn him into something? Is that what happens now? Does he turn into a super heel? Is he trying to turn into a heel? Or I don't know. You know, I feel like he's in limbo. Maybe this is it. Maybe they're like, you know what? Just come out with whatever you can. Just we'll give you like 5 minutes. Go out there and do whatever. Let's see what happens. Maybe something sticks. I know
his contract is almost up, right? So he should be gone soon.
That is true. Maybe, maybe not. He seems to just be frustrated overall. And, you know, but that Naomi thing was hilarious. So I'm like on the floor dead. That was just freaking hilarious.
This guy is
yeah. It's 2017 when they did that, because you knew back in the day they would have him in blackface.
Oh yeah.
So I was just waiting for that.
Well, luckily they didn't take it there, but that's still too much. Too much Dolph Ziggler, the screaming and the yelling when cutting the promos. I'm tired of that also. So I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but hopefully they get. The thing is, you know, a couple people said this to me after the show. They asked me, where the hell was Shelton Benjamin? They had this whole thing where there's a storyline with him and Chad Gable. There's a lot of people that was missing from SmackDown. And instead you had this Dolph Ziggler thing on the show. That's why I didn't really understand that at all. But I don't know. Again, this is Vince's company. I guess he will run things any way he wants to. And even if it only makes sense to him, he'll do it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense to anybody else. But I don't get it. I just don't get it. One quick thing I want to say, and then I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on SmackDown. Obviously, Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win the match against Randy Orton. I don't know why they made someone think Orton actually had a chance, because he already got his revenge. He already got his revenge on Jinder Mahal in a pointless match after losing the 3 previous matches. So he wasn't going to win that match. Shinsuke was going to win it. So, what was you saying, Dana? Oh, don't worry. So audio.
Just saying that match, that yes, you knew that Nakamura won, but the way that they put it on was, you know, you really didn't know. I thought it was very well executed, and I liked their chemistry together.
Yeah. I guess so.
For me, I thought that was like the highlight of the show.
That was the only, that really was the only highlight, because everything else is just like SmackDown Live is just, it's gone downhill.
It was stale. Everything just felt like it was rehashed from, you know, years before. And we've seen angry, frustrated wrestlers, so that really doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of storylines that they just seem to abandon, and I don't know if their roster is too big, or they just don't care, or they don't know how to manage them.
That's what it is. They don't know how to manage it.
And I think it's free. I think they don't care. Because if you're writing storylines that, you know, date back from, you know, 2005, and you're just rehashing things and hoping that nobody will notice, it's pretty ridiculous. And it's very unfortunate, and it cheats the actual viewer. And to see something that I could see, you know, 10 years ago done, you know, much better to begin with.
That's true. I don't know what they're doing, but hopefully it will get better. I have to be honest, you know, I didn't watch all of SmackDown or Raw because at this point I'm getting tired of the product. When I see, because again, I look at the fact that we have Jinder Mahal as the champion. You have Brock Lesnar as the champion on Raw, and this guy is on a part-time schedule, which means we'll see him every now and again. So I'm very annoyed with both of them in their current roles. And once they actually decide to get the belt off of both those guys, maybe I will have more interest in the direction of the product. But right now, to me, it's like I'm not really happy with what I'm seeing. So I find it a little hard to watch.
Right, and it's not just you. Nobody's attending these shows. Like, attendance has been very down, and you can even look at it and see that no one is really there.
Well, hey, it's about to get a lot worse now that football's back. So
yeah, and football's back. The only reason for me to hang on to is the WWE, the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes. I think I'm up to episode 5.
They're decent. They're really good. They're decent. There's some wrestlers who are trash, but at the end of the day, it's a bit more entertaining than what's going on SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, and I'm still gonna blame Road Dogg as well.
Hey, it's the DOGG.
Yeah, R-I-T-E-R. Wait, I can't even spell right. I can't spell right. No, he can't write, and ever since he joined, as one of the head writers, it's been trash.
That's true. Well. I could only hope that it will get better, but I think it will get maybe a little bit worse before it gets better. But we'll see. We'll see. So any any final thoughts on SmackDown before we move on?
I literally can't
I'm
even remember.
Bobby Roode. I just hope everything works out for him.
Yeah. I'm curious to see who they will give him as his first real feud.
I thought it made sense to have him against Kevin Owens because it looks like they want to push him as a babyface. So I'm like, they should have had that happen. They should have had, while Kevin Owens is talking smack to Shane, and Shane will say, you know what, I'm not a wrestler, but I know somebody who can fill in for me, and he's glorious. I thought that would have been perfect, and they didn't do it. So.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And also that whole Carmella James Ellsworth thing was just, oh my gosh, it was just, ugh.
I actually have something I want to say on that real quick. And this is why the suspension of disbelief is ridiculous, because just a few days ago, Carmella announced on Twitter that she bought a house with Big Cass. So to have this whole thing, she's in a relationship with James Ellsworth, it's BS. It shows you the laziness of this stuff, because it's okay if the wrestlers are out there on social media talking about this, that, or other, but be mindful of the story that you're also telling, and don't tease that, she has something going on with James Ellsworth. That's just ridiculous.
Richard, I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
But wrestling is scripted.
I know. Oh yeah, I know about that.
Consider it like a movie. If you watch, say, Angelina and Johnny Depp make out and profess their love to each other on a movie, you already know that, Johnny Depp is married. The easiest way to view it. They've dropped kayfabe years and years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think they sell it, but it's just a storyline that's just corny and no one really cares.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. It's definitely that.
I have her in love with him. I'm so confused about how they're doing this.
Hey, well, once she cashes in, she's gonna kick him to the curb, so they'll have to find another storyline for him.
Why don't they actually make him wrestle? That would be nice.
Yeah.
No, he's a wrestler.
They should, but hey, listen, I don't know if they. We'll see. I think we definitely should be getting into WWE 2K18 momentarily, but we do have a couple of quick things to go over real fast. So just a couple of quick points. Of course, we had the situation with JBL. Dana, feel free to just let us know what exactly happened with JBL and why he is no longer on the SmackDown commentary team.
The bullet is gone. Freedom at last. No, what happened was, he says that it was a decision that he thought about. To us, it just came on suddenly. But he said that he thought about this decision and he has decided to step down from commentating SmackDown. So he has decided to step down and he wants to devote all of his time to not only backstage, but also with his charity work to, help the impoverished children be better and learn better and, have a positive life. So he's decided that he is going to, this. However, if you read the not the Daily News, but the New York Post, they did a big story about this, and they were saying that by having him quit SmackDown, it's basically WWE brushing the bullying controversy under the rug so that, everything is not going to come into light and hopefully it'll just disappear. How WWE has a history with doing this. Not Morrow, what is that man's name who got bullied?
Mauro Ranallo, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he made a statement and he was saying that, it's unfortunate about the bullying environment that's going on in WWE, but he doesn't want to place blame solely on JBL. He's explaining that the problem is that the WWE itself has a bully culture, and that even with JBL gone, this is not necessarily something that's going to go away for many of the other wrestlers. They're going to be faced with bullying. If you guys remember back in the past, there was the wrestler, oh gosh, she worked in NXT as one of the trainers. It's escaping my mind. But he had an incident where he was sexually harassing the upcoming NXT superstars. He's just saying that this is something that is going to forever be. But for right now, the wrestlers feel like they can breathe a sigh of relief. A sigh of relief. Can't talk, y'all. But yeah, so that's what's going on. So JBL quietly stepped down, and they're trying to sweep this whole bullying controversy under the rug.
So I'll just say one quick thing, and then I'm sure Adam has something quick to say. I know this news happened last week. When it happened, I was like, well, it's about time. I know this has been in the works supposedly since the whole thing happened with Morrow. I wish JBL well, but I don't really care too much about this anymore because it seems like the situation was resolved when Morrow left, at least from, Morrow was the one who was being bullied, so he had to leave. But yeah, he's right. The mentality is still there. It's going to remain there because we know Vince has that mindset also to, give people a hard time. So it is what it is. It's going to still be there, of course, as he stated, but JBL is like, I know a lot of people don't like JBL. I know he got even more heat after all of that incident happened. So, yeah, I'm glad he's not there because I didn't care for him.
They interviewed JBL recently, and basically he was just laughing the whole time at the whole situation.
Oh, laughing at what? That he's gone or about Morrow?
Controversy. They interviewed him, and he just was like just laughing it off like, yeah, whatever, and started laughing.
Yeah. I bet he was laughing. That's interesting. But yeah, he's better off gone. Have Corey Graves come over. Obviously, though, yes, they have Corey Graves doing a lot, as Adam said earlier. So we'll see what happens. But Adam, do you have any quick thoughts on the JBL situation?
It's about time. It's time for him to go. I didn't understand why he was there to begin with. Remember, he left for a long time. He had that Fox show. That business show or whatever it was that he was doing. And I get it, he wanted to come back, and they were like, all right, yeah, we'll bring you back. But he's not needed. I don't think he offered much. I mean, he was the mic piece for Vince. That was the whole thing. It's like he was Vince at the table. Whatever was coming out of his mouth wasn't him. You know, majority of the time it was Vince. So, whatever. It's fine. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Glad he's gone. So, that's all we're going to say on that. So, two other quick topics to get into before we get into our WWE 2K discussion. So, I know, Dana, you wanted to mention this. Obviously, they have been teasing that Ronda Rousey is going to potentially have a future matchup against Charlotte Flair. So you asked the question, do any of us care about that? Let me just say, go ahead and start it off and say that Ronda Rousey obviously, you know, lost a lot of star power after the UFC, you know, after all that happened to her at UFC recently. I personally think that I'm not really that interested in it because I saw how they have treated the women's division, how it was good when they brought in the 4 horsewomen, and now it's kind of struggling at the moment. Now, obviously, as y'all said, the Mae Young Classic is different. You know, you would like to hope that from that things can get better as moving forward, but I don't really have faith that they know how to really. I really don't think they're going to get it back to the way it was initially in the beginning. So I don't really know. I mean, obviously, if Ronda, this is what she wants to do with her career, I wish her well. But am I excited for that particular feud? Absolutely not, because it's just not really. It's just not really there yet. Now, obviously, we have to see how they actually build that, if that happens, and how they're actually going to build it. Oh, the video that I saw so far, Ronda Rousey is a horrible actor. That's what I can say. So that's one reason why I'm not really sold on it yet. But obviously, depending on how they actually are building it and they present it to the audience, maybe it can be enticing. I just don't buy it now. I feel like they should have got Ronda the last time they had access to her at WrestleMania. That was when it was at a point where you should have made her an offer and tried to work something out. But now,
Dana said no. They tried. Dana said heck no.
Oh, well, hey. So, hey, well, they tried.
Her so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure he gives her his full blessing now. We'll see. We'll see. But you guys have any quick thoughts on this particular upcoming matchup if it does happen? How about you go first, Adam?
No. I mean, I think it's going to work out for her. I think that she's going to make it work because she wants this. This is not an afterthought. A lot of people are like, oh, well, she lost in UFC, not knowing that she is a hardcore wrestling fan. She loves wrestling. You know, the 4 horsewomen, you know, the whole plan of 4 horsemen. She loves it. You know, this is something that she wants to do. And if you want to do something, you're going to do everything you can to be great at it. She proved it in the UFC. She wanted to be the great fish. She wanted to be a champ. She did it. No one can take that away. Yeah, she got knocked out. She lost. That's the way it is. Not everybody's a Floyd Mayweather and can retire as champ. So we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to come. And that's it. It's her time. In fact, I remember after WrestleMania, I was like, she's going to leave. Whether she was a champ or not, I had a feeling she was going to leave the UFC and come to WWE because that's what she really wanted to do. She wanted to be part of it. You know, she even embodied the whole Rowdy Piper's thing. Remember Ronda Rousey? And then she was at Piper's funeral. She had a connection with him, and she had a connection to the business. She wants to be part of the business. And this is it. You know, she's got her girlfriends. They're also wrestling fans. They want to be in it. One of them's already doing the classic. So I think it's going to work out. She really wants it. It'll happen. I think everything will be fine.
Sounds good. How about you, Dana? Any other thoughts on this?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Now, I know that she is a fan of professional wrestling, and that's great, and that's wonderful, but I think she's going to take away shine from the actual wrestlers there. I think that it's going to distract writers from, you know, creating good storylines when it comes to women's, you know, matches. It's already in the toilet, so we already know that this is going to get all the light and glory. And if she does go, say, to NXT, I think that the women there are going to suffer even more. And that's where the real talent is in NXT. So I don't like it at all. And I think this is going to be another cheap gimmick where they already promoted her. She's going against Charlotte. I think it's going to be the 4 horsewomen of the UFC against the 4 horsewomen of the NXT or WWE or whatever it is now. So I'm sorry. And quite honestly, I'm so over Ronda Rousey. And then, yes, she can wrestle. She can do the judo. She can kick my behind in like 1 second with just her pinky toe. And that's great. But her attitude is so disgusting that for me is off-putting. But I like Shayna.
Oh, yeah. So we'll have to wait and revisit this once they actually start to actually build this. But I'll be very interested to see if either of yours opinions change once all this happens.
And they're also doing a big special. It's like a big red carpet special that they announced that they're going to air on Tuesday. And she's going to be there and be a part of the special. So I think that's when she makes her official announcement.
Interesting. Very interesting. I look forward to seeing where this goes. But, yeah, still don't care too much for Rousey. But, yeah, wish her well. So we'll see what happens.
I don't.
All right. One final topic to get into before we get into WWE 2K18. So you guys wanted to talk about the sexy star situation. I haven't been following it too much. I know about the injury that she caused. I know about the fact that she tried to apologize, but I don't know anything else that happened after that. So Adam or Dana, whichever one of you wants to dive further into this topic, feel free to do so.
Whichever.
Okay.
Dana, you want to do it? It's up to you. Okay.
Yeah, Dana, give us the rundown on this sexy star situation.
Okay, dokie. Okay, well, basically, it was at a show at triple. Oh gosh, let me get everything together. Basically, everybody knows the backstory of her being at Triple Mania event. Very short story. She was facing oh gosh,
Rosemary. She was facing Rosemary from GFW.
She was facing sexy Rosemary from GFW, and she put a submission move on her, which was basically like an arm lock, and it was supposed to be a very simple match. She claims that she is, such a great wrestler that she had to work with Rosemary, who's not that skilled in the ring, and so she lessened, the arm hold on her. She worked at what she would call at a lower level, a baby level, with less energy and enthusiasm, so that, the match could be good and Rosemary could feel comfortable in the ring. She claimed that, everything was fine. She did the submission. She looked at Rosemary. Rosemary was, playing and playing the role, and everything was going great. She won the match. She went down to the backstage. Everybody was just like, she claimed that they was, congratulating and being very normal. That's when she claimed that Rosemary faked an injury. She was being extremely extra. She went in the back of the room and they called for like assistance. And usually they call, for medic, and they expected like a big traumatic scene, the way how Rosemary was claiming how injured she was, but instead it was just like a medic, and they left her. But she said that later on, they made this big story that she purposely attacked her and tried to pop her, the shoulder out. She later went on and wrote, she had an apology. She never issued an apology technically. Her first statement was just, this is not true. Everything's all right. And then later on, she issued like this 4-page letter basically saying that she was the victim and how everyone is against her, including the foreign world, which would be America. Everyone was against
her from a few. She had a few events scheduled, and she was taken off the card.
Yeah, they banned her from everything. They banned her from Wrestle Circle. They banned her from GFW.
Her title. She got stripped of the title because that was for a title match, and they stripped her of the title.
Even Chris Jericho banned her from Talk is Jericho. So she's been banned from everything because, you know, if you look at the video, she purposely tried to rip her arm out. So it's just a very unfortunate incident. But she's taken way too long to even issue a statement. She still has not apologized. She's just saying, you know, everyone is against her, and they're trying to blacklist her.
There was other women in the match, and they even said that she was going stiff on them. She already showed up in the match with a chip on her shoulder. Right. And then from what they said is that she didn't even want to work in that match with her. She felt that she didn't need to do that. Sort of like what Dana was saying. She sort of felt like this girl was beneath her. Yeah. You know, so just like how we saw with Bob Holly, you know, whenever he would come in and he felt he was the superior one, he'd go stiff just to show, like, hey, I'm the boss. This is my yard. You know, I'm doing this. But sometimes you do it to the wrong person, like he did with Brock, and they break your neck, or, you know, you hurt somebody. She did. And then when she was like, oh, she left the ring just fine, she rolls out, and yeah, she plays it up, and then she goes in the back and was like, yo, my arm is broke, or something's wrong with it. And everyone was attending to her, which is why when Sexy went in the back, she saw all these people around, and then they were like, oh, what happened? And this whole thing. Oh, I didn't see medical staff and stuff like that. No, but she had her own people around because they were trying to figure out what happened to her. You know? And then when Rosemary came out and said she wanted to beat the shit out of her, but she didn't want to end up in a Mexican prison. So she was like, you know what, I'm just going to just deal with this shit, and then I'm leaving. I'm going back to the States. I'm not coming back here. Rosemary had no reason to say any of those things. If she got hurt and it was just something that happened, you know, she's been around for a while, not on that level, but she's been around for a while. She'll just say, yeah, I took some bumps, whatever. No, she got hurt, and there's other women that were in that match, and they could vouch. She was going stiff, you know, and that was it. She hurt her. She hurt somebody. So then when word spread, they were like, all right, I don't want to work with her. I don't want to do this, that. And then, of course, a lot of promotions don't want the bad publicity. So they're like, you know what, just to be safe, you're off the card. So she's flipping out about it now. Like, oh, you know what, they're making a big thing. I've done this on a bunch of people. It doesn't matter if you've done it a bunch, but did you do it stiff on a bunch? You know, or did you just do it with this girl because you don't know her and you want to prove a point? She has a bad rep. 60 Star has a bad rep of being like the Hogan, you know, of the locker room. You know, she gets what she wants. You know, with Taya, we talked about that before the show started. For those that know Taya from Lucha Underground, Johnny Mundo's fiance, Triple H, she was the women's champ. And one day they were like, hey, can you bring in that belt? We need to clean it. We need to do some stuff for pictures, promos. She brings it in, and freaking they strip her. Next show, she finds out that they were like, oh, she did an illegal hold to get the belt, so now we're putting it up for grabs. They just took her off. You know, this was their way of just being sneaky about it. You know, and then word was that it was because of Sexy Star, because she didn't get along with her or did some shit backstage or something. You know, again, all that stuff is rumors, but I mean, it's just there's only so many of those before you sit saying, well, if this girl's having a problem, this one's having a problem, and that one's having a problem, there's got to be some truth to it. I mean, there's got to be something to it. So now we'll have to see what happens, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that, you know, someone's purposely, I don't think she purposely tried to break the arm, you know, but, you know, she held it tight, and that's all it takes. You know, when I used to train and I did a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and stuff, somebody held it all the time. I did a knee on belly one time to this guy, and we were going rough back and forth trying to do submission. I went to a knee on belly, and I went for a choke, and then he made like a grunt noise. I was like, you want to stop? I was like, no, it's all right. And then when it was over, when they sounded the horn and we got up, and I noticed he was holding his rib, and he opened up his gi. Black mark. I guess I put too much pressure. I broke one of his ribs. It wasn't on purpose. You know, just too much pressure. Shit happens. And I think maybe she was going stiff on her, thinking, yeah, I'll just hold this for a little longer, not knowing that she was doing some serious damage. So, it sucks.
Well, after hearing that, Adam, I'll be sure to never cross paths with you because I don't want to get ribs broken, arms broken. Oh, no, I like all my bones intact.
Yeah, like the bones.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens with this whole situation. It is unfortunate that all of this did happen, and she is paying the price for it now. Yeah.
Well, it's her fault. She should. She could have easily, you know, lessened the severity of the backlash by just issuing an apology.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which she's done to this day. She's blaming other people. She even blamed WWE. She's like, people who weren't even there are putting their nose in our business, and I don't even want to wrestle. She's like, I don't even want to wrestle for them. Yeah. Talking about the WWE, they have something to say.
But she doesn't understand. It's not so much of the other wrestlers, like Cody said it, and a few other wrestlers said. Their whole point was they don't want to work with someone who's going to hurt others intentionally. And that's the whole thing. Whether it's her or anybody, they were saying there's no reason for that because these are independent contractors. I mean, this is their livelihood. You take somebody out, their career is over, just like that. So the last thing you want is somebody who has that chip on their shoulder. That's why I've never understood how Bob Holly got away with doing it so long in WWE. He was known for doing it purposely, going stiff and chops and doing all this stuff. And I don't get it. I mean, again, a lot of that stuff has to go back to the way Vince would treat things. I mean, look at JBL. JBL did a lot of bullying. It's kind of ironic that this company that creates this whole anti-bullying act, and yet they have a #1 asshole bully here getting away with shit. But there's got to be something more to it. But the point is that there's people that have been doing this in the past, and sometimes it bites them in the ass like Bob Holly, and then sometimes it doesn't. But this was one of those where they're nipping it in the bud early. They're like, what? We just found out you did this? All right, that's it. You're done. We're not going to use you. No one wants to work with you. Just stay over there in Mexico. Clean up your act or whatever. Because then I told them, I got to look it up. Because the two other women that were there first came out and said, yeah, they were going stiff. And then they stopped talking about it. And maybe because they don't want the bad press. Maybe because they want to keep their jobs, But
that's a good point. Well, yes. We'll see what happens next. But wish, for those that were affected, wish them well. But yeah, that's ridiculous. So I think it's time for us to talk about WWE 2K18. There have been some people that have been anxiously waiting for us to have this discussion, so it's about that time. Now, getting into this whole roster thing, as you said earlier, Adam, before we started recording, yeah, I'm actually looking at a list of the people who are not in the game. And we are going to go over that list. But before I go over that list, I want to ask the question of, how do you guys feel about the initial roster that they have revealed so far? Because I know that 2K is making a big deal to say, well, this is the biggest roster they've had in any of their games. So are you satisfied with who was in there so far, or do you still think that they, that maybe they snubbed a couple people for DLC instead?
I think they're going to sneak a few people in for DLC. I mean, there was no Aleister Black. I mean, it's a no-brainer to have him in there. He's getting one of the largest pushes right now in NXT.
Yes.
And there could be a few things. There's one, even if they came up with a reasoning and an excuse, well, we want to get his entrance in. They recently just did that entrance. It's a cool entrance. I get it. Okay, I'll wait for that. I could accept that coming in as DLC, and I expect that coming in as DLC. And if it is not DLC, then shame on them. Do the Game of Thrones shame, because the dude belongs in the game.
Yeah,
that entrance, everything works. So I see him as an NXT DLC, and whoever else they pick, because usually they put like 2 or 3. I could care less. Right now, for me, it's him. Maybe they'll put Adam Cole in. I could see that. All you gotta do is take CM Punk and then give him long hair and take the tattoos off, and then you're done, right? Because they could be brothers.
Yeah,
I can see that. When it comes to the main roster, as we saw from the list of the wrestlers not there, the Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys. But again, those are one of those things I think they probably looked at and said, hey, are they going to do the broken gimmick here? We want to see that, because then maybe we could add that in, or we're just going to go with their previous character models from like 2006. And I was like, well, add the streak, make his hair a little long, add a little weight to them, and there you go. That's what's going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised. We're going to see that as DLC, without a doubt. That's it. That's a no-brainer. I mean, the fact they weren't in the list, they're there now because they have it. That's easy money right there.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the previous ones, all their stuff is there. Their moveset's there, their entrance. It's they have the content, so it's just slapping on, like I said, do some of the changes, and then we're done. But I'm trying to think if there's anybody else.
Well, yeah,
there was a few other ones on that list, but
well, actually, yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna go over the list, but before I go over the list, Dana, you had anything you wanted to add based on what Adam was already saying?
No, I think the DLC just seems to be so meh to me that I just don't even see the purpose of me even getting it. Like, I love the Hardy Boys, I really do, but it's just anymore. I would have preferred the broken gimmick, but legally we all know we can't have that, so I'm not really feeling anything. RVD, he's barely in.
Well, we got No Way Jose. You're not excited for that? No Way Jose. No way.
I hate that so much. I don't even know why Stephanie is there.
She's always there. She's in a.
Listen.
Why?
Wait,
it's anybody. People in the chat. Anybody? Who do people play with the most? Because I gotta say, for me, it's creative guys. That's just my thing. I use my Pentagon Junior, and I use my my Prince Puma, my Ricochet. I use these guys because I like the character creation center. I like that you could add moves and stuff. Yeah, I'll play with Bray Wyatt and the other guys most of the time to get the trophies and achievements and do all the bullshit. But for me personally, I like adding these characters into the world, and then seeing the matchups. To me, that's fun. So I play with those guys. I don't know how many people just go in and just play as Brock or Undertaker. We've done that for years. When I first started playing these damn games way back, yeah, that's what I did. But then as soon as the Character Creation Center opened up and became what it is today, this live community of people just, making stuff. I'm like, look at my action figure. I'm like, oh, I'll take that, and put that in my toy box. Then it became amazing. And that's the first thing I think I talked about a few episodes back. That's like the first thing I do. And yeah, right off the bat, most of the time there's not much there. But if it comes out Tuesday, by Saturday, you got like 5-6 pages. People just making stuff. There are hardcore people that this is what they do every year. It's just create awesome characters. I used to know some of them by name. I had 2 of them on my friends list because they were in the community groups, and you would always hear the same names. They're like, yeah, I'm posting up another Gold Dust. We knew it was going to be on point. I'm making a giant Matanza. All right, I'm Monta Matanza. Okay, there you go. But that's those are the highlights. To me, it's the community. So I'm probably still going to get this game, but I'm not thrilled about it because I still don't know what features are in it. What modes? One of the cool features, I should say, when it comes to moves, when I say features, I'm thinking of modes. But let me make the correction. Some of the stuff that they did show, like the carrying the guy around, and how you can, if it was L1 or R1 or the bumper punch, you could rotate. That's cool because they show he could just dump the guy right out of the ring. So I'm just thinking in my head, man, what if I set up a table out there? Can the guy just get dumped onto the table? And then what if I went outside and I lit that table on fire? Can I just throw him out on it? I don't know. I think of these funny things. But,
oh no, well, I was just gonna say, hopefully you are able to do that in this game because we do know that the games in the past have been buggy. So I'm thinking if you dump the guy outside the ring, he'll probably get stuck mid-air.
That happened in this one, and even this one, I had a few times where I would do certain moves off the top rope, and if the guy was outside of the ring, laying down too close to the canvas, my guy would hit the rope, and he would get stuck. And sometimes get bounced. Yeah, he would bounce back in the ring, or he would bounce outside, and he would get hurt. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Things happen. But they also showed that you can use the step now, as a weapon, not just using it as a weapon, but like actually power bomb a guy onto the steps. So that's cool. It's like, all right, so now you can actually use it for something else besides using it as a weapon, like just throwing it. I didn't see much else. It's coming close. We're only a few weeks away from this, and still they haven't talked about this whole Seth Rollins mode. What is that?
Does that mode actually exist?
But that's what they said. They said there's something with his mode. They said it was something special to him. Unless it's like what happened in 2K18, where you had the showcase for Steve Austin, but then you had all these other like challenges for like Bret Hart and other things. If it's going to be something like that, where it's just challenges, not so much a showcase mode. I thought that it was going to be like a showcase mode, but they were dropping the name showcase and they were going to call it something because I think they were saying his path or something. They were saying something like that. They had some different wording where they were like his journey, play as his journey doing something. So that's what I thought. I thought they were going to start something like that. So maybe they could make an indie ring or something and have him work some matches and then show him in NXT and he could do the Shield. And they can do the same thing that they did with the showcase. They could do that with Seth Rollins. He's been there long enough to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm still, I don't know. I still want more. I want something else. I want a story. I want something. I don't know. I didn't like I want to know about the career mode. For myself, for my creative guides, did they improve on that, or do I still have to do this continuous grind? Destiny 2 came out. That's a grind in itself. I had a buddy who beat that game in like 10 hours, and he was like, yeah, now I got to do all this grinding to do the other shit. I'm like, what? I don't want to do all that. You know what I mean? What is this? Why are all these games making us just grind? I did all that grinding for the Ghost Recon to get the platinum. I spent more time grinding than I did actually playing the damn game when it came to the campaign and stuff. That was like, boom. I spent like 50-something hours just grinding, getting resources and shit. And I don't want to do that in the wrestling anymore. It took forever. It took forever to get this belt. And it had all these weird issues with like T-shirt sales and, the crowd reactions and then the BS promos and, with the text dialogue boxes. And I was like, what year did this game come out? Why am I doing it this way? It was horrible. So I want to hear about that. I want to hear about the improvements to those modes because that's where we spend most of the time, at least for me. I know there's probably a younger audience that can care less. That all they do is the TLC matches with their buddies and do all this stuff. Okay, and that's fun every once in a while. And a part of me would say, yeah, that's fun to do online, but their online is always broken. It's always got issues. So we can't really say that. Maybe this year they'll fix it. Who knows? But these type of things. These are things that I would like to know. The roster, I get it. That's for a large majority of people. Everybody wants to know who's in it. I also want to know who's in it. I look forward to that. But now that we know everyone's there, next week, we better hear something else about like the actual structure of the game, these modes and stuff. Because if they just say, that's it till it comes out, when Mr. Droopy Eyes comes, hey, how you doing? I still think he's high or something's going on with this. Yo, what is his story?
Yeah, you talking about the deaf guy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, am I the only person that sees that? Like, when I saw him, like, yo, is he allowed to do this? Do they know he's doing these videos? Did he tell anybody? Because he comes out, yo, I hope you're excited. I got something to show you. All right, open up your eyes then. Because right now, you're looking real high. And it's making me uncomfortable watching this. Because it just feels like I'm waiting for somebody to be like, yo, turn the camera off, man. Why I tell you about filming this shit? I'm waiting for somebody to jump in. But we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. I hope we see more. And I'm not holding my breath on some of the things that I don't know. I don't know when it comes to all other stuff that happens, but I just want a career mode that's doable and not a long ass grind. The universe mode, that can stay the way it is. That's fun. The fact that people can just run in and stuff. You add your wrestlers or creative guys you have, and you can create stables and just like play it out. You could be the real GM. It's like, all right, I want you in a stable. All right, what do you want to name that stable? I want to name that to, well, what music do you want? I don't know. Yeah, that'd be great too if I can add my own music. Or if they want to get cheesy, I can see them getting cheesy like this because of the whole Spotify connection now on Xbox coming in and with the PS4. If they have it where you can link up to Spotify and then you can link certain songs to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could see them doing that because then it's like, well, they're not keeping it. They're using it. You still need a Spotify account. I could see that, but that might be worth it because then you could actually link up if you have a creative wrestler with their actual theme song. Because a lot of the theme songs are up there. That'd be awesome. Because back in the 360 days, you can download the songs, burn them on a disc, put it in your Xbox, copy it off, dump it in, turn on the game. It'll say searching for music. You can either do it on the network or it'll scan your hard drive, see the song on the hard drive, and there you go.
I remember
awesome.
that.
Yeah, a lot of people did it. That was awesome. So bring something like that. But I don't know if they'll let us do that. But at least with the Spotify linking, I think they can get away with it. But then that way, it just makes it more fun and enjoyable that way.
That's a good idea. I hope that they actually are going to do that now that you said it, but we'll see. I mean, you made a good point right in the beginning where you said that, well, yeah, the roster is fine. We still need to know what is going on with all these other modes. And obviously, they definitely need to reveal more information because, yeah, the game will be out in October. There's a lot of other games coming out in October also. So
it's busy. It's always busy. This time of the year is always busy. It's like from September when we start toward August. It starts with Madden, right? Madden just dropped. Then we start getting all the other ones. We get the FIFA, and then we get the basketball games coming, and then we get all the shooters, you know, and then we get the adventure games. We get Assassin's Creed. We get all that stuff going on. And there's only so much time. There's only so much money, you know, and people want to really be, you know, pick and choose what they want to spend their time on. So they really got to up their game. But we talked about it before. This is the only wrestling game on the market. You know, so do they even see those other games as competition? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
You know, they probably be like, well, yeah, we're a fighting game, but we're not really a fighting game. And, you know, we're a sport, but we're not really a sport. We're special. You know, we're that special snowflake. So, they can get away with a lot of shit. I mean, we can bitch about it all we want, but it's not like we have something else to compare to, and we don't. You know, Fire Pro doesn't compare, and then when that shows up, I think it still won't. I think it'll definitely have its audience, but we still don't even have a release date. You know, it's still in early access on Steam right now. But I don't know. I hope it comes out and it works and it's fun. I mean, it always looks great when they show it on their videos. It's never glitching or anything. And then when we get it, we got all kinds of problems. Irish ripped the guy in the rope, and all of a sudden he gets tied up in the rope, but not in a proper tie-up rope way. You know, he just like glitching. I'm like, oh man, you did it now. You know, but I'm a sucker for these games. You know, I look forward to it. I'm gonna get it. You know, but I just want to know that I'm getting it for the right reasons, and that it's going to be fun, and that I'm looking for, like with the old ones, at least not too old. I mean, it's 16. 17 was the only one that was like a real disappointment for me, and 15 was horrible. But 16, they fixed a lot of things. They fixed the roster, and then they brought back Showcase, and Showcase is fun. I enjoy doing all of that. Yeah, some people bitch. It's always QTEs and stuff, but it's challenges, and they did the period pieces of Steve Austin, and they had the old arenas and the matches and the old font, and he would go against like Steamboat and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is great. You beat the guy, you unlock the guy, you know? So it sort of had that whole feeling. Now in 17, it's like, just keep playing the game. You get the in-game currency, and then you can use that to unlock characters.
Yeah.
I think they're going to bring that back. So, because I mean, it's not fun. Like Sabu, for example. I mean, not Sabu. I wish Sabu would be like RVD. I don't think RVD is just going to be playable out of the box. We're probably going to have to unlock him. You know, pay some in-game money or whatever to unlock him, like all the other guys are.
Yeah, I believe that.
You know, and it's not linked to a story or anything, so it doesn't make it interesting. I would have preferred if, let's say, I'm playing within the universe mode or I'm doing something, and they threw him in there linked to something. Let's say Paul Heyman comes out, and they can make BS and be like, oh, I have one of my guys, and he whips out Rob Van Dam. You know, he just signals, and Rob Van Dam runs out. That'll be awesome. You know, and if I beat him, then I get Rob Van Dam. You know, or they have an ECW little, you know, segment or something in a story mode. But that's assuming they're going to have a story mode. I don't know. I think there's too much that I think about, and I think a lot of people hope for. And like we said before, the game is not in development that long. You know, it's 1 year. There's only so much you can add in 1 year, and we got to take it for what it is. I mean, they pretty much give a lot of tools for us to do, like create your own show. They're like, oh, you want all that? Psst, do it your damn self. The Creation Center. You want those guys? Do it your damn self. You know, you want those moves that you saw in Japan? Don't worry, we got that coming in a pack. You could do it your damn self. You know, you do it, make it your own, and that's it. And it's like, you know, for some people, they're cool with doing all that, and for others like myself, it's a grind. I have to do it, but at least it can be done. I would like if they incorporated some of these things. I would like that they listen to people in their forums, but they really don't. You know, they say they do. I think they only listen to the glitches, but they don't listen to ideas. And that's my gripe with it, but. If we were just guessing like predictions, like what we did with just the wrestling shows, DLC, it'll be Aleister Black for sure, and the Hardys for sure.
Yeah. All right, so since you mentioned that, I'm going to run through this list real quick of the characters that are not in the game. So as you mentioned, Hardy Boys, yeah, I agree 100% that will be DLC because they were there at WrestleMania. So I think they would have had enough time, and yeah, as you said, the moves are already in the game. So yeah, I expect that.
Easy, especially when they come down. If you think about it, they're not doing anything different from before. Everything is the same. He's not doing. I mean, he does the throw chop, and they could add, delete, because they said they were going to add more crowd sounds.
Yeah,
so they could easily add that. That's simple. That's it. You're done. You're done. Party's done.
That's the thing. They could, but we'll see if they add that crowd thing. Yeah, it's easy for them to add that. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, another one that isn't in the game, at least from what we know so far. I think that this guy will definitely be DLC. Elias Sampson. And he's been in NXT. He's been there much longer than just this year. So I definitely expect him to be in there.
The problem is with that is that it doesn't work for gaming because he's not going to sing a damn song. You know what I mean? You're going to have him start off with one song, okay, but then if it's going to keep being the same song or unless he does a bunch of songs for the game, which I doubt. It's sort of like the Enzo thing. Enzo comes out and he gives his little speech. He does that in the game, but he doesn't add, his own improv things. If I had a dime for everybody, every time I load up, I would have 0 dimes. And he doesn't do any of that shit. He does a little intro and then it's done.
Yeah,
it wouldn't feel right if they added him and he doesn't sing the song before a match.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Well, we'll see. Unless, of course, they just give him the. Did he sing in NXT when he came to NXT, or did he just walk to the ring?
He walked to the ring sometimes playing a song.
Okay.
He would play a song, and then sometimes he didn't. But I think at the beginning he did, and he just walked down with the song. I mean, with the guitar, like it was a bag, over his shoulder. Then eventually he started putting the spotlight on him, and he started playing. But then I guess the same thing could be said with Aiden English now.
That's true. That's very true.
Is he going to start singing, or are they going to still? I didn't even look. Is Simon Gotch in it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
If he is, they might just leave it as the broad villains. They might just say, fuck it, just leave that.
No, they could remove him if they could,
but they may not. I mean, it was the same thing with Punk. Punk already had left way after, and they still left him in the game. When that one came out, and they knew why they did that, and eventually they had to pay him not just for that, but for all the merchandise that was still selling. So they were like, listen, we still have all this stuff, and he's like, well, then I still want my cut from it, my royalties.
Yeah, and that started a whole bunch of controversy there.
And they wanted, and that was the other thing that he had talked about in another interview when he settled all that stuff. They wanted to keep that business part open. They were like, hey, it's a win-win for all of us. We'll keep selling your merch. You just don't have to be with us. And he said, nope. He was gone. He wanted all his shit gone. So we could have still had him in the game, just like we have all those other wrestlers that are no longer there in the game.
That's true. Well, we'll see. Another one, we already mentioned this guy, James Ellsworth. I'll be surprised if he's not in the game because he's been there a lot longer than WrestleMania than another character. So,
but he's El Generico. You know what I mean? Anybody can make that guy, and he doesn't even wrestle. So you just make him and then put him as a manager. You're done. have a Dario Cueto from Lucha Underground. He's the owner and there's the whole thing. I have him in my game, and I just link him up with Matanza and a few other guys, and he just comes down as a manager. That's it. It's nothing special. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah. So, true. I've seen a lot of people create him, so yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Okay, how about Lana?
I'm not. Nope, that's not affecting me in any way. You know what I mean? I wasn't looking forward to playing with her. No, I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, hey.
I don't think anybody's gonna miss that.
Yeah. Just the manager, but just the manager though. They could have easily just used the same.
Again, El Generico right there. Anybody who just make a chick and then give her long blonde hair and big boobs, and then there you go. She's your manager. Link it to Rusev. Done. Next. And I bet you she is there because she was in the last one.
Okay. Well, she should be.
So If anything, maybe she's not a playable character.
Yeah, she shouldn't. Well, she
Might be. She might be just in the game as a manager because she wasn't playable.
Yeah, she should be a manager. She should. They shouldn't have her do that dancing thing. We don't need to see that. Okay, these two definitely won't be in the game because they came late. Mike and Maria Canales. Yeah, we don't know about that.
Canales, nope, don't care.
Nope. So okay, Shelton Benjamin.
Too soon. It's no.
Yeah, he just came back. So yeah, too soon. You're right, and he doesn't even have the same music he had.
Yeah, no, everything. I mean, okay. I don't even know if they still have his move, the ladder move. Remember where he did that ladder match where he ran up and he did the clothesline and the whole thing at it's like WrestleMania or something. It was one of those things.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they left that in the game because they had that in the game for a long time. That was one of the things you can do when you set up the ladder. That if the guy was on the top and you had the ladder at an angle, you could run up and then hit the guy. But I don't know if they have that in there or took it out. But maybe it's, either way, yeah, it's just still too soon.
Okay, now this one here, obviously, before you both say it's not important, the problem is that these two people are playing an integral role in another character that is in the game, and I'm talking about the Singh brothers. The guys that constantly distract and prevent Jinder from allow Jinder to win the match. So, of course, they are not going to be in the game, at least from what I know so far. So y'all are fine with that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it just takes away from his entrance.
Yeah,
and that whole thing, but it's gonna be tricky because he wins a majority of his matches because of them.
Yeah,
they'll distract, and in the game, when you have a manager, most of the time, that's what they do.
Exactly.
They distract. You try to pin somebody who is a manager, you already know that manager is going to get up on the apron. So you have to make sure that's not done. But anyway, that's weird. But again, those two guys, you can make them. You can make them yourself. Another El Generico's right there. Jobber number 1, jobber number 2. Make these two little guys, put suits on them. There you go. Now, they won't come down. I don't think they'll let you come bring 2 guys down. Well, no, they will. They will. Because with the Wyatts, when you have the Wyatt family, you could have the other 2 guys come down. So you could do it.
Oh, yeah. So Luke Harper and Rowan could come down then.
Yeah, they come down with Wyatt in the game because in 2K17, that's still the Wyatt family. When you select Bray, it shows you the other 2 guys.
Wow.
So you can turn them off if you want them to come or not.
Okay.
So that could be done. I could see people doing it. But you see, again, that's one of those. It's like you do it. You do it. You know how to do it. You do it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm pretty sure people will create all of these.
They want an authentic experience. They want to recreate what they see on TV. So they're gonna do it.
Absolutely. Okay, so this list here is of the 205 people that aren't there. Dana's favorite show, 205 Live. So.
Woo!
Yeah.
Ooh, the Butter Show. Ooh.
So according to what the people that aren't in there, of course, Arari. Okay, Davari's not in there. I'm pretty sure that will be updated.
It'll be DLC.
Yeah, DLC. Drew Gulak. Yep, probably DLC. Lynch Dorado. Maybe. Mustafa Ali. Yeah, Tony Nese. Yeah. And Mustafa Ali.
I don't know.
But I think Tony Nese will be in there.
I'm just curious. See, like even this. Look what you just said. We just mentioned these guys that aren't there, but there's a bunch of 205 guys that are there.
Yeah, yes.
Brian Kendrick and stuff. So it's like 205 has to be in the game then.
Yeah,
right? We're assuming it has to be in the game. They haven't said it. Yeah, Gallagher. They haven't said anything about 205 being in there. So
yeah, 205 NXT, all of them.
Oh, so it is there. They did say 205 is going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those guys will probably make the cut. Well, some of them, the ones they deem most important, will make the cut. So we'll see.
And I'm sure they'll have a DLC for them too. I mean, man, but the problem is, are these DLCs going to be part of the season pass? Because in the past, they've taken some of these out.
That is a good question.
They've taken some of these out and made them special purchases. They're like, oh no, that's not part of the season pass, and that sucks.
I will say this. If they make the decision to make 205 Live part of the season pass and then decide, well, the NXT people, we're going to make them pay for that outside of the season pass, or I will be pissed if they did that. But I don't think they will be that stupid to
Well, you know who else is not in the title, and that's something nobody was talking about.
What's that?
But I simply forgot. The United Kingdom.
Yes.
UK champ.
Yes. You got into that. None of those people are
Nobody's in it. The champ's not in it. The belt's not in it. None of that's in it. You know. So again,
that's DLC. Maybe.
Uh,
But probably not.
That's a long shot. Yeah, I doubt it.
But I will.
It's still considered something that's there.
Well, say what?
The program itself, is there like a show?
Well, they say it's a show. It's a belt. It's one of their official belts. So if you want to say you want to have all of their belts and championships, you have to have it.
Well, here's the thing. These guys are on NXT now. So if they decide to have anyone on there, I would at least expect them to have Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, since those guys have been on NXT TV already. But the other people they may not have.
No, they may not.
You know, but I would expect them to at least have those two.
Those shows that were supposed to have started already taping in the UK. I don't know what's the holdup. I don't know if they're having issues with getting wrestlers out there. I don't know what's going on, but it's going too long, because that tournament was, how long ago was that? That was months ago. I want to say at least 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole point of that was, all right, we get the title, and then shortly after they start doing tapings, because they said that was going to be their home, that arena they showed out in Blackburn. What's it, where was it? Blackpool. It was in Blackpool. So they said that was going to be their home, and that's where they were going to film their shows. And we haven't seen anything, and I haven't heard anything about any shows being taped out there. And even the announcer that they have, the guy from Ring of Honor, he's just doing NXT stuff now. You know, he's just announcing there, like, all right, well, I guess this is what I'm going to be doing until that starts up again. So who knows?
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Aleister Black was on that too. He was you know, at his old end. Was it Tommy End? I think that was.
Yeah, Tommy End. Yeah.
Yeah, and he popped up on there as a special match, but I thought he was going to be part of that show, and I guess they were like, nah, well, we got bigger plans for you.
Yeah. So, hey, with that said, now let's get to the final people on that list, which is NXT. Now, we mentioned Aleister Black. Yeah, he will be in there. There's no way he isn't there, because he's been there a lot longer than some of the other people. So I expect him to be DLC. Adam Cole, I do not expect, since he just made the debut. I know these guys don't work that fast with putting the newer people in there. So maybe 2K19, but 2K18, I don't know about that. And I would say the same for Bobby Fish also. That team, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, yeah, I don't think so. Drew McIntyre?
They have his stuff too. That's an easy create. Just gotta give him a new skin and a coat, and you're done.
The new music too, right? Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah, the music, and that's right. I think he has a new finisher. I think that's a new finisher too.
Okay, so
it'll be a little more work, but still, they have his face scan. You know, just add a beard onto it.
Yeah, he should be in there.
Yeah.
Another person that I was surprised when I heard that he's not in there, and I believe, no, this guy probably DLC. Some people may not care about him, but Cien Almas, this guy has been. Well, he's not on the roster. He's not on the main roster. Well, not on in any of the roster lists we've seen so far.
I thought he was in that. I thought they added that guy.
So he has to be in it, because
it's got to be DLC then.
Yeah, he's been there longer than Aleister Black. So
yeah,
yeah, he has to be in that. That's what my thought is. Heavy Machinery. I mean, I haven't really followed too many of their matches. So yeah, I mean, you have Authors of Pain, you have Sanity. So I don't really think that, you know, I mean, I don't know if they will add them later. I don't really know about that, but that was another one. Ruby Riott, another person that well, Nikki Cross is in the game, so
yeah, Nikki Cross is in there.
No, Ruby Riott, maybe I'm not sure if they'll add her. Yeah, I'm not sure. And oh yeah, well, Velveteen Dream, no, that's not gonna happen.
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like if they didn't have to do every year, or if they actually cared about the game and throughout the year said, hey, $3 packs, not $3, let's say $5, $4, maybe individual guys, come up with something, because they don't just make a guy, they do the theme and the entrance, they do a lot of work with it, so I appreciate that. But then with big stars that start coming in or developing, then add them in the game in progress. You know what I mean? It's like the game's out, and within a few months, whatever, say, hey, we realize everybody likes, say, Ruby Riott. She's become a big star now, and they go in, they do the face scan, they have the intro. It's like, hey, $5 you get Ruby, you know, if you want her.
Yeah,
people will do it. You know what I mean? Spice things up. Do that instead of like doing these like, this is a pack you guaranteed. And then what if things change? Things change fast in this. It's just like the other sport games. We talked about this before. If they treat it like a sport game, do the updates throughout the season, just like the other sport games do. They update it.
No, I agree. No, I was just gonna say, and see, this is why I have an issue with 2K. Obviously, it's a different developer, you know. But you look at take for example the NBA 2K game, which is coming out next week. They have already updated that Kyrie Irving is on the Celtics.
Yeah.
They update it every time there's an injury or whatever happens. There's an update pretty much every day. So I you know, now obviously this is Visual Concepts, not Yukes, but they are both under 2K. So I don't understand why 2K
can share tech. They can share technology and stuff. But I think we talked about it here, or maybe I talked about it on Throwdown. It comes down to money. They would have to hire somebody to actually do all this. You know what I mean? Who can follow the product and say, oh, on Monday, this dude just lost a belt, or this guy just shaved his head, you know, and has this new look, and now he's part of a new stable. Let's add that in the game. All right, let me do that. You need somebody to do it.
That's true.
And it looks like they just don't have the time, or they don't care, and they don't bother. It's like they spit the game out, and then it's done, and then they'll do patches and stuff, but they don't think about actually improving it, like adding to the product. They'll just fix glitches. You know, they never say, you know what, we realize you guys are upset about the why it's still coming out together, but we took them apart. We did that, and we took this guy. I mean, I remember people were really heated when Roman was still coming out with his Shield uniform. Meanwhile, he was solo for the longest time on TV. They're like, yo, he's not in the Shield, but in my game, he's still. You knew he left like a year ago, right? They know these things, but they don't do it. And they expect people to do it. You know, and that's why a lot of people go through the process of creating and modifying and doing all that stuff. And developers always say, oh, we're working on this, and they do their whole little spiel, but they're really not. You know? They're basically saying, listen, we gave you the tools, you do it.
But see, yeah, you're right. They give you the tools so you can do it, but even that is limited also because I don't recall, I don't know if this is true for last year, but are you able to actually change the wrestling attire that the wrestler has?
What you do is you get rid of that wrestler. You clone him.
Okay.
You know how you clone him, and then you stop using. You put him in the entry. I forgot there was another name for it. You take him off all the shows. So the guy that comes in the game, you take him off and you use your creative one, and he'll have everything. So that's how people were doing the Roman, updated Seth Rollins with the white outfit and all the stuff from Russell. That's how people were doing these things. So they copy him. So now they have everything on a created guy, right? And then they remove the in-game version from all the Raw and all the other shows that he's on. So now the only version that's in the game is the created one. They were doing that with Stardust and Cody Rhodes too. You know, when people were like tired of seeing Stardust, they're like, no, he's Cody, and we know him as Cody. So that's what they were doing.
Okay, so I have a quick question now. Wasn't there I don't remember which game it was, if it was 2K15 or 16. Wasn't there where if you wanted to, wasn't there an option where if you just want to change the color of the attire, you can do that and just give them another attire rather than having to go through all that you said with the cloning? I
don't remember because they were big on just unlocking attire. Like that was their thing. It's like you had to unlock, you know, oh, you want to unlock the new outfit, the old outfits that Triple H wore, you know, during this WrestleMania. So, and they'll say different outfits. They did for Undertaker, did for a few of them. And then you'll see that. You'll see an option to do it. I don't remember if you can just do it off the bat. Because I remember the whole process in order to do it for them was to copy them. That's why they give you that option to copy superstars. You know.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. Well.
And that's why you would see a lot of. I remember, how was it? It was my brother, somebody. It was for one of the other ones. He was like, "Man, why did everybody add all these other versions of like Undertaker and all this stuff? Why they do?" It's like, don't they know he's in the game? It's like, yeah, but not that version, not the one that looks like that. He's not in it. You know. So.
Wow. Well, they. I hope they definitely make it easier in the next game, because all that cloning stuff, that's a lot. That's a lot of.
It's a lot of work. There's a lot of other menu systems in there. I mean, creating an arena and doing all that's not that easy, but, you know, with the lighting, but people do it.
Yeah.
You know, people go all out. You know, like you said, there's a serious community for that. They try to get real authentic. And then the fact that you can import banners and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll see, I remember Lucha Underground, and they had the emblem on the mat, and on the ringside says Lucha. And so they did a great job. People do it. You know, and I guess that's why Yukes is like, oh, if I could just let them do it. They want it that bad. You really care that much about all this? That's it. We're just giving you this base model. Here it is. This is for the regular people. This is all they care about. You know, who knows? Who knows? I mean, like, that's one of the things. Trophies, achievements doesn't show up, but I like the trophy system that it shows when it's like common, rare, ultra rare, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when they tell you, so then you get an idea of what people are playing. When I see that to get a belt and it's listed as like an ultra rare, like no one's playing career. All right, there goes that, you know, and then when I see that for other things in the match, play 50 matches or whatever, and I see that's like common, then I know what their people are doing, and I'm sure that's what's going off with the developers. So they know, all right, people are playing this, people aren't playing this, maybe we shouldn't add this. And I know a lot of people that did not play the career mode because they saw the grind. And hopefully they saw that and said, we're going to make changes. You know?
I hope so, but I don't know. Maybe we'll find out some more information.
Like, what do you play? When you play it, what do you jump into?
Well, I tried the career mode, but when I realized that after I initially tried to get myself a title match, you know, I even went after the person who was the #1 contender and started a feud with them, then got a match in which I had a title opportunity at SummerSlam and won the match and still didn't get the belt. So now I haven't been playing it for a little while now, because when I got into the career, I said, well, yeah, let me see how high I could run through this. And then when I saw how much of a grind it was, I said, well, forget this. Now, whenever I do play the you know, the universe mode, trying to, you know, see what happened if I put certain wrestlers in feuds, and then trusting the computer to do right by the feuds, and then they always mess stuff up. So, but yeah, I hope they do improve the next game. They haven't shown anything of that next game yet in terms of those features. So hopefully your guy who looks like he's high will have something to say constructive.
Oh, back. Guess what? I got some.
Yeah.
And the camera just shuts off.
Yeah, well, yeah, they got to. I mean, the carry system, the stuff that you mentioned, that's great. A lot of that stuff is great, but yeah, like you said, we need to know what's going on with the features, the modes. That's all that people want to know.
That's what I want to see. I want to just know, because that's where I spend my time. Like Universe, I like the Universe mode. It's fun because you can just jump in there and anything could happen. Sometimes people just run in, and you know it develops its own story. You know, it's cool. It's cool. You know, just like to see how they improve on that and some of the other. But I really would like to do the career mode, but it's just too much of a drag. Like you said, even if you go after the champion, doesn't mean anything. You're not going to get the belt because it goes based off your ranking.
Yes,
you can beat the champ 2 times in a row. You can keep feuding with him. You're still ranked 10. You're not coming up. It's not like, damn, you beat him, you're in the top 5 now. Nope. Doesn't work that way. You know, and then they still have all these other guys that constantly challenge you, and then Renee Young will say, oh, what do you think about this? Is this a feud? And I was like, oh, I guess it has to be, because that's the only way you can progress. You have to complete feuds. You know, again, I learned that the hard way, because I was like, no, I don't want to feud with him. I want to feud with the top guys. And I still wasn't getting ranked up. I'm like, all right, what's going on? It's because every time someone wants a feud, just do the feud. Just do it. Create the feuds, do the feuds. No, none of these single matches. Just do feuds. That's the only way. And it's still a grind. Hours and hours.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, hopefully, like I said, we get more information. We will definitely talk about it again on another show, but I think if there's any other final thoughts, we may be getting ready to wrap up the show. Dana, did you have any other thoughts on WWE 2K18, or are you looking forward to getting that Cena edition and you have no complaints?
Ha ha ha. You're funny. No, basically they was just saying they keep giving announcement that my career mode is going to be amazing and never before seen action, but they don't go into detail. They just keep saying, there's going to be a lot of backstage feud and you're able to, have different confrontations with people, and now you can challenge players online. Start feuds with random people online now. Which
how do you do that? Like, what?
I don't know.
I don't. You know what I mean? Like, how do you start a feud online? Like, are we gonna see a listing of like every single person that's online and just randomly pick some dude? I'm like, yo, I'm gonna kick your ass. Yo, what are you doing? Come on. I was like, oh, I don't know, my bad. And you run out. I don't get it. And what if somebody else does it too? Like two guys jumping up. Are we a tag team now? What's going on here?
Yeah. So now you can. Yeah. You can do that now, and you're able to. What they said, when you complete matches, you're able to progress through multiple storylines. You're gonna be in your own class, like say cruiserweight, heavyweight, that type of thing, and that means that it'll either limit you from doing certain moves, and you can't do other moves that belong in other like wrestling categories. You know what I mean? Like cruiserweight can't do heavyweight moves, stuff like that. They also said there will be blood, if that means anything to people.
There will be blood. There's always blood. What they need to do is add like blood. Like, I want to see like blood on the mat, like what they used to do. Where if you just keep beating a guy, he's just leaving blood stains everywhere. I want to see an ass whooping of blood. But they don't go there. They stopped that after the whole ECW era.
Yeah, they stopped that there, but there will be references to alcohol.
Uh-oh. Steve Austin, Stone Cold.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Which will be, they said it's going to be an interactive experience. Also,
nice. Booze.
Yep, single player career mode will have multiple cutscenes and dramatic interludes. Yeah. There will be bitch will be in there, which we all know is
whoa.
Female dog slang word will be in there.
Interesting.
WWE loves that word.
Who? What?
And also said that you'll have varied challenges at every skilled level. And they will be, they're upgrading the physical classification system. Yeah.
So.
And they're going to try to emphasize on NXT. They want you to play the NXT and the 205 roster.
They're not the boss to me. They don't tell me what to do.
So in other words, there's been a lot said and very little shown. So they have a lot of stuff they need to show. Between now and launch, because that's a lot of stuff. I was definitely expecting some type of video to go on over the career mode. So maybe that will happen. Next week or sometime later this month. But they need to. I think there's a lot of people out there that feel it's the same game. So they definitely need to improve and get the message out there. What you said, Dana?
They're very excited that you can use chairs, sledgehammers, and baseball bats.
Wait, like using them as like finisher moves, like the way they used to have it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, hey, listen, a lot of stuff sounds great, but we need to see it now.
I need to see it. I need proof.
We got to see it now.
Me.
This game is out next month, so we got to see more. Go ahead.
There will be pyro if you miss pyro.
Well, wait a second. Now that's not accurate at all, because WWE can't afford pyro, so they need to take that stuff out the game.
It's free in the virtual world. It costs nothing.
Yeah. We'll see.
Oprah comes out. You get pyro. You get pyro. We all go.
Just to stay with the theme of keeping it realistic, I also hope that if they have a 2K205 arena, that there are no fans in attendance, because everyone
they need show people walking out. It's like, oh, because man, that's one of the things that I loved about the NHL games. They would show like people moving out of their seat. Like you could see them like getting up and walking around and doing stuff. And I'm like, that is awesome. Sometimes they'll walk back with like a drink in their hand. I'm like, oh, he went to the concession stand. They should show some of that.
Yeah. Well, they say that the crowd, when it comes to the crowd, the volume, the sound will be changed. So you can actually pick out individual voices and chants. So you're going to definitely get the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chant.
Okay. Well, they added chants in 17, and not that many of them, but some of them came out, and then they even added some sounds. So let's say if you were playing as, is she in this game? What's her name? Paige. Paige is in it, right?
Yeah, she's in it.
And when she would do that scream, that was in the game. And then when there was another one, it's like, this is my house or something. Yeah. That was in there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's all.
But they keep saying my career mode would be amazing. They won't release any information, but they keep saying you're going to buy it just for that mode.
Oh, well. So that means that some information must be forthcoming, because there's no way you could say that and then not have something coming. So I expect to see some information soon. We'll see. But
definitely will see. You better do something.
Yeah. But if there isn't anything else to say on WWE 2K18, I think that concludes this week's show.
That's it. Party's over, man. Party's over.
Yes.
It's all over. You know what I'm gonna say. Just keep watching Lucha, people. Watch some Lucha Underground. It's easy. Just get on Netflix. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to watch all that show. Just go on it. It's there. Start with season 2. Jump into season 2. Start seeing people stealing souls and stuff, and wrestlers dying and things. You don't see that anymore. I mean, it's so crazy. There's all kinds of crazy. I just saw this week's match, and oh, man, so Joey Ryan, I don't know if I told you guys or anybody knows about Joey Ryan, just look him up. He's the one that takes a lollipop. He has a Magnum PI mustache, takes a lollipop, licks it and puts it in his shorts his trunks while he's wrestling. He gets like the baby oil, so it's rubbing it on his chest. Anyway, he was in a match with this other dude, and he put on a rubber glove, and he took the oil and he greased up his glove, and then he just reached out and grabbed this guy's ass. It was like, oh, like digging his hand up in there. Yeah, I mean, where else are we gonna see that shit? Only in Lucha. And then the other guy grabbed a taser and then tased him. It was nuts. But yeah, I mean, watch Lucha. The people watch Netflix. I know a lot of people will have Netflix. Just watch Lucha. You don't have to go surf the web and see some horrible shit or whatever. It's there. And then Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is always fun to watch, Dalton Castle. That's another one of my favorite wrestlers, Dalton Castle. So, that's it. Just go. Watch more wrestling.
How about you, Dana? Any final shout-outs?
Shout outs to the listeners. Shout out to other companies not sucking, like Lucha Underground.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
It's sad. It's sad. All the stuff is taped. That's the other thing. The Lucha's that it might be done. I mean, this is it. All the stuff that we're seeing now, I mean, there's only like 3 or 4 more episodes, and that's it. I don't know if they're coming back. So this might be it for them.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. But right now they're doing better than
GFW.
WWE. Yeah, GFW. Oh, which by the way is gonna probably no longer be available.
Yeah, that's another one. It's on its way out.
Oh,
yeah,
hey.
And they're gonna change because like Jeff Jarrett is leaving and taking the name with him.
Hey, it's all good. So
this would be the time that. Oh, well, this could be perfect timing, because then if WWE comes in and buys the library like what they originally wanted to do before, then what comes along with that is the Broken.
yeah.
So there's like, oh, there you go. They'll get it and case closed. Because if that Owl Network wants to sell, which most likely looks like they do want to sell because the ratings aren't there and they're not happy with Pop, and then now they're having all this talent issues and with Jarrett, and they don't know the direction they're going in. And Cornette said that he wasn't brought in for talent relations. He is a talent. And that's all he's doing there. And that he said he's done right after like Slammiversary or whatever the hell it is, whatever pay-per-view they have coming up. So it might be done.
We'll see. So, yeah. That concludes this week's show. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you all next time.
All right. Later.